This episode of Later with Jason Suel brought to you by the Walmart Museum.
Catch some history.
Cheerios.
Catch some breakfast.
Old Buildings, LLC.
Catch an old building.
And Maxine's Tap Room.
Catch a drink.
Oh,
hey,
Jason, hey.
What are you doing?
Dude, there is a Pikachu in here right now.
We don't have time for that. Let's do that later.
We got time for some Pikachu right now. I'll catch them all.
Dance like the moves that you're doing on purpose. Sing like a singing on key. Talk to the girl that intimidates you. Pretend that you're brilliant and charming. I said pretend that you're brilliant and charming. Hey!
And now for a man who couldn't catch a laugh with a master Pokeball, it's Jason Suel!
Thank you, everybody. Welcome to Later with Jason Suel. Man, I am so excited about this episode of Later with Jason Suel. You know what I'm talking about, Bo?
I know what you're talking about. I'm super pumped.
Yeah, I'm super pumped, too. So, you know, we get to do this show about once a month. Some people get to do shows once a week or every day, but there are some things that happen only once a year, and today we're going to be talking about one of those things. The Fayetteville Roots Fest happens once a year, and we got our great friends Jeremy Gothrop and Brian Hembry stopping by the studio. Round of applause for those guys. Yeah, we got a little bit of a roots focus. We also have the executive chef, Chef John, here from Greenhouse Grill joining us. Chef John, everybody. Chef John, what are you going to be making for us today?
Today we're doing some beef short ribs, some butter beans, some little pickled peppers, and some crispy garlic.
Oh, wow, crispy garlic. This all sounds delicious.
Oh, it's so crispy.
Bo, are you ready for that, or?
I was born ready.
We're also going to be checking out the sounds of renowned artist Bayard Blaine. Bayard Blaine, guy, he makes guitars, he makes all kinds of instruments. I am fortunate enough to own a Bayard Blaine instrument, so Bayard's going to be joining us on the show later. Round of applause for Bayard, everybody. Yeah. Yeah, hey, so Pokemon Go. Yeah, that's a thing. That is a thing right now, and I've got my great friend Rachel Lynette coming by to talk to us about Pokemon Go. Round of applause for Rachel. Yes. Who else we got? Who else we got? Here's something exciting. I went up to Bentonville, and I hung out with a new cycling studio up there, cycling and bar studio. So we've got a great segment coming up later in the program from Free Ride Studio up in Bentonville. Round of applause for those folks joining us. Yeah. Yeah, and finally, last but not least, I want to send it over to our great friend, Instagrandpa. Instagrandpa joining us from a technology suite somewhere in Northwest Arkansas. Take it away, Instagrandpa. Thanks for being here, everybody. Hit it, boys.
Hey there, thank you, Jason. Instagrandpa here, telling you all the latest technology tips and tricks for the summer. It's another summer, and people are on their phones, and people are on their iPads, and their iPhones, and their iThings, and I'm going to put a challenge to you. Instagrandpa, let go. Let go of it all. Go outside. Enjoy yourself. I call it an I think. Fishing time is here, and you need to get out on the riverbank. And I'll tell a story about a fish, especially the one about the squirrel that left a nut. A squirrel was eating a nut on a log, and a fish jumped up, big old bass, as I was out in the boat, and ate the squirrel. right off the log. And I sat there and I was going, oh, whoa, what just happened, you know? And pretty soon that fish came up out of the water and put another nut right on that log. And he's baiting them squirrels. That's a true story. You know, it is kind of sad for me to see so many kids sitting around texting with their head down, not paying attention to the beauty of this world around us. Now, I am Instant Grandpa, and I'm here to tell you, the only way I could get your attention is to go on Instagram and tell you about it, but now I've backed off of it. There is something so rewarding about just jumping in a creek, you know, in the middle of summertime, swimming around, coming up with a copperhead or a big old mud cat that you've noodled out of the hole. Now that's living. That will teach you more about life than sitting there wondering, who likes me and who doesn't like me, and scrolling and doing all that stuff on there. So go out fishing. You're missing the little rewards in life that mean the most while you're looking down at a little handheld pocket computer. Okay, so that's Instant Grandpa, and back to you, Justin Suel. Jason? Suel?
And I've got a bone to pick with you.
Yeah, everybody, welcome back. Later with Jason Suel. So I'm joined here now by Rachel Lynette, my good friend, and Pokemon Go has been happening all over the place, and she just wants to talk to us about it. So Rachel, what are your feelings on the current Pokemon Go situation? The floor is yours.
So, Pokemon Go. First of all, seriously, when I was 14 years old and I wanted to play with my little Pokemon cards, my mom told me to leave them at home or else I wouldn't have friends. And now, if you're like 15 and you don't have a smartphone, you don't have friends because you're chasing invisible monsters. Y'all, come on, invisible monsters is what you're doing with your life. Second, the next thing, you are chasing invisible monsters and running into...
Oh, hey, there's so many Eevees in here. Did you see
my
that
God.
Bulbasaur?
I'm a human being! This is the 4th time that's happened to me this week. People just run into me and they're like, ooh, Pokemon, move, human. They're fake. They're totally fake. They're not real, and they're weird-looking purple monsters. If you saw that in real life, you'd freak out. So my note to everyone, dude, shoo. This is real life, my life. Here's my advice to everyone who plays Pokemon Go. If all you want to do is hatch eggs and catch little invisible little monsters, go live on a farm or a commune. Just go away and actually hatch real eggs. It's a farm and a commune. You can actually do it in real life.
Seriously, band, you can go do it in real life. Rachel, thank you so much for your insight into the current situation, the current thing happening. Bo, I mean, seriously, man.
Dude.
I'm catching them.
I'm proud of you. You make us look good.
Go walk a dog
all,
or
not
something.
some.
Thanks, Rachel, for being here. Stick around, folks. We got more stuff coming up on later.
I've got a bone to pick with you. And I've got a bone to pick with you.
That's for you guys. All right. Hey, welcome back right here on Later. Joining me now, Brian Hembry, Jeremy Gothrop. You guys are known by, your profession, Smokey in the Mirror. We've got Greenhouse Grill, Woodstone Pizza, and all the things you do in Northwest Arkansas. And that new place right out back of Greenhouse. What's that called again?
The backyard at Greenhouse Grill.
Yeah,
Jason,
the backyard.
in fact, I remember a year ago almost, some of my first times on the show, both of you guys were guests for those individual projects.
Good memory.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's amazing. That means this is like an anniversary for you, Bo.
Are these ribs for me?
I mean, that's why we gave you the bib that we made crudely right before the show, and we got these ribs in here.
But it
for
also
you.
means it's time for the Fayetteville Roots Fest again.
It does, my friend, it does. So that's what we're here to talk about is Fayetteville Roots Fest. And before we just dive into that, because I know there's so much to discuss, there's so much going on with programming. I know you particularly have been traveling a lot. You're a rock star. You're out there on the road doing stuff. Do you got any crazy, fun stories for us from the road of Smokey in the Mirror?
Yeah, I mean, we travel all over, especially the front end of this year. We've been really busy. Bernice and I traveled a lot as the duo, and went out to the East Coast, and we did a tour with the Wood Brothers. And it was great because we kind of had this, we kind of called it the dichotomy tour. We rolled up into this venue in St. Louis, and it was so rock star.
Right.
It's this place called The Pageant. This is a beautiful, huge venue in St. Louis. And so we're loading in backstage, and backstage they have this wall, this shrine, to everything that gets thrown on stage at a rock show. So
It ends up
just
on the wall.
A huge wall of unmentionables,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And it was amazing. So we all took like portrait pictures with it,
course,
you know.
yeah.
And my favorite part of that wall is there was this sign that said, someone had made a hand-painted sign, you know, to hold up to get the band's attention, and it said, "Sounds just like the record." I just thought that was hilarious.
What a huge compliment.
Yeah,
You made
yeah.
it, guys. You sound just like you did on the
That's
CD.
right. And so we were feeling good, and everything was great. And then 2 nights later, we're at this club. It's got a lot of history.
Okay.
And the green room was it had been tagged, you know,
Okay.
like it was like plywood walls that people had drawn all
Gotcha,
over.
yeah.
And there were, you know, it didn't say "sounds like the record." I'll just say that, right? It was pretty crude.
Right. Dichotomy.
Yeah, it was very dichotomous, and we're sharing that with the Wood Brothers. And I snapped this picture of them, and they're like, "Hey, will you send that to us? We want to post that." And so they posted. But what we didn't see above their head was like, I can't remember exactly what
Right.
it said, and I probably can't say what it
Right.
said, but it was like boogers. You know, so like they're looking rock star, graffiti on the back wall, boogers.
So the concert was at an elementary school.
Pretty
rocker
much,
room.
yeah. Actually, we did. In Jackson, Mississippi, we played a venue at a converted elementary school.
Oh, that's wild.
It's like it's an amazing place. On one end, there's like a seafood restaurant. You got salons, art place, and in the old auditorium of the elementary school, there's a venue. Boogers Hall. Yes.
Bubble gum under the table.
Yeah,
eating.
exactly.
What about for you? Chef rock star moments. Anything come to mind?
Man, long before the days of having a restaurant, we were just 2 guys trying to like get into shows cheap. So every rock star that came to town, be it George's, Dave's on Dixon, remember that? Chester's, remember that?
Yeah.
Walton Arts Center, festivals, whatever, they would call on me and my partner Clayton to like bring the food. And before long, this list just grew and grew and grew of all these rock stars that we'd fed coming through town, and they got to start being used to it, from Bela Fleck to Kev Mo and everybody in between. Yeah. They'd always like, "Hey, oh, you're the guys again." I'm like, "Oh, how flattering." And they're like, "Did you, is it going to be good this time?" And
of course.
I hope, yeah. But now we have a Sticks and Bricks location for 10 years, and they still get that same treatment, so they're pretty excited, and they remember us for, so it's a long history with.
So you never had to have a pack of Mentos and sneak your way into a show?
No, it'd be great just to be like 22 years old and have all access at every show.
Wouldn't it
we were
be
just bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and just so excited to like drink beer and hang out all night with these guys.
But that has sort of made its way into what is now Fayetteville Roots Fest. This kind of experience that you're describing. So what do folks need to know? I know that a lot of your stuff is already sold out. Massive support for this event. People come from all over to come. What's still accessible, and what do people need to know about?
Sure, yeah. We were kind of shocked this year. It's the earliest we've ever sold out of our multi-day tickets. Mm-hmm. In terms of main stage, there's only about 100 tickets left for the Sunday main stage.
Right.
But people coming from over 20 different states and different countries, so that's kind of exciting. But the cool thing that we do every year that we're really committed to is about 40% of our programming is free and open to the public.
Right.
And so you don't have to have a ticket. Some of that I would also include, there's some low-cost options, late-night options, like a $15 ticket to George's on a Friday, $18 ticket to George's on a Saturday night. On that Saturday night, you can see Amy Helm, one of our main stage artists, but she's also going to do a late-night set. But then there's a lot of free programming, too, that's both food and music related.
Yeah.
So we're going to publish the schedule. In fact, it'll be out by the time this airs.
Right.
And so someone, even if they don't have a ticket and they're bummed that it's sold out, they can go and they can participate in so many music and food events across the weekend, completely for free or low cost.
And they just need to look it up on the website,
FayettelleRoots.com.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's stuff tied into food, right? There's a lot of food components to that.
The food is getting a heavy elevation this year. It's always been the goal to like make chefs and farmers rock stars as well.
Yes.
And put them on the stage and give them all the credit due all the way through. So this year we're going to redo, and second annual is the Chef Cook-Off in the streets. You'll be able to see Chef John and his sous vide and his lima beans. And so the Chef Cook-Off, real quickly, is 8 chefs from around the area, best and brightest. They have $50 in 1 hour to shop everything they want from the farmer's market and then cook it up in 30 minutes for the judges, big cash prizes. We're also partnering with Dig In Film Festival. We've kind of like brought this into the team. So at the library, Fayetteville Public Library, will be all these Dig In programming, from farm tours, workshops, demonstrations, taste and talk series with chefs and brewers and tasting things go down, and then lots of films as well. And then everywhere you go, there's pretty much going to be food and beer and music at every turn. So you're going to be inundated with this everywhere you go.
Right, and what's not to love about those things? I mean, that does describe Fayetteville in a way, you know, those three things that you just said, music, food, and beer. And what I am gleaning from what you just said is programming is happening at the library, and it's also happening on the square, is that right?
Most of it's centric, you know, it's all around downtown, which is also, you know, incredible. So in the main event, we have like a cooking stage as well. So there'll be live chef demonstrations right there, but then in the streets of the farmers market, and then a lot of it at the library.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I see you guys also brought some instruments along with you. These are Bayard Blaine instruments. Tell us about what's happening with these.
Yeah, so this is a Bayard guitar and this is a Bayard mandolin. Yeah. Every year Bayard builds an instrument. This year 2 instruments. That's a part of an instrument raffle that we do all during the fest. For all 4 days you can get involved in the instrument raffle, and the proceeds go to benefit both the free programming that we just talked about, but also feed communities.
Nice.
And so it's a great opportunity to, like, you know, get a chance to win a handmade instrument built right here in Fayetteville.
I know, yes, and I mean, I've been out to his studio, and he does amazing work out there. What a cool guy. We actually have a video from Bayard coming up just a moment, our music video segment on the show. But before we go, we do this with all our guests. We need to know your spirit animal.
Yes.
You want me to go first?
I mean, that's why I was looking at you, yeah.
I too play this game in the kitchen, just randomly on a busy night. Hey, chef, what's your spirit animal? Get their head off the game, and the responses are always funny, which I'm sure you get.
Yes, absolutely.
So I haven't had a chance to think about this, but now here in the studio, I think jackalope.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Fast as fast can be.
Is that real?
Oh, that's real.
It's real. It's real to somebody.
It's real to us. In fact, I'm hoping we can get a big picture of a jackalope, put it over your face for this segment, wouldn't it?
Well, just the ears.
Just the ears.
Or the legs.
Horns, right? Ears and horns.
Yeah. Sure.
And they're fast.
Yes, all the things.
And you can ride them with a saddle.
Yes.
I have that postcard.
To the moon.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I caught one on Pokemon Go last night.
Nice.
What about you?
You know, a lesser known mammal, but the rock biter. I think the rock biter is probably my...
What? Is that something from the Flintstones?
Are you kidding?
What is a rock biter?
Have you never seen The Never-Ending Story?
Oh, the rock biter.
The rock
oh,
biter.
all right, now we're with you. Never-ending story. Of course.
Could not stop the nothing.
And he had the big rock tricycle.
Yes.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
Of course. What was the flying dragon's name? I love
Falcor.
Falcor. Oh, there it
The
is.
happy dragon.
To the festival this year.
Yeah, we actually have a Falcor dragon that's going to make an appearance Thursday night at the Garner Farm VIP concert.
That is pretty amazing.
You may have seen it around town. It's, you know, he's moved to Fayetteville like everyone else, evidently.
Well, yes, absolutely. Guys, thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for contributing to our community the way you do with Fayetteville Roots Fest. And we hope that the story of Fayetteville Roots Fest is also a never-ending story.
Hey, thank you. Thank you guys for being such great partners. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Big round of applause for Brian and Jeremy joining us here on the show. Yeah. Stick around for more with later. Oh, hey, I was just playing a little shovel with the boys. This is Bayard Blaine with Dig a Little Deeper. Ooh, that G string is out of tune.
One more shovel full of mud might lead to something sweet. When your garden's gone to dust, hungry goes with poor. Your plow laid down to rust, your children cry for more. Dig a little deeper and let the sun wash you clean. Your prayers won't turn to water and your fields don't turn to green. The dust will rise into a cloud high above the trees. Yeah, when it falls, it leaves you choking down upon your knees. And it's alright tonight. The red sun won't rise until the light. It's alright tonight. Lay your weary head to sleep and too tired to dream of leaving. It's alright. Well, your neighbors have uprooted, up and drove away, gone to seek a fortune out in California. And you know you've thought about it, yes, 100 times or more. Take that Bible in your arms and throw it out your door. Dig a little deeper, let the sun wash you clean. Your prayers won't turn to water, and your fields don't turn to green. The dust would rise into a cloud high above the trees. When it falls, it leaves you choking down upon your knees. And it's alright tonight. The red sun won't rise until the light. It's alright tonight. Lay your weary head to sleeping, too tired to dream of leaving. It's alright. Well ain't pulling water, dig a little deeper. So one more shovel full of mud might lead to something sweet. Dig a little deeper and let the sun wash you clean. Your prayers won't turn to water and your fields don't turn to green. The dust would rise into a cloud high above the trees. When it falls, it leaves you choking down upon your knees. And it's alright tonight. The red sun won't rise until the light. It's alright tonight. Lay your weary head sleeping, too tired to dream of leaving. It's alright.
That was sweet. That was a tight. Yeah, that was a tick. A little birdie at the end. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. Nice touch.
Chef John is just cooking sous vide and it smells so dang good.
Yeah, it does smell so dang good right here in the studio with Chef John, the executive chef at Greenhouse Grill and Woodstone Pizza. Chef John, what are you making for us? What is this? Apparently it's called a sous vide, which I've just learned from the song.
It's French.
It's French.
It means under vacuum.
You're right.
I
Yes,
feel
sir.
that's why you're on the show, Bo. Again, you come through with the definitions.
Knowledge.
Yeah, so we use this in the kitchen a lot. It's called an immersion circulator. So
Okay.
it's immersed in the water and then it circulates the water. So we cook a lot of meats and stuff like that.
So there is a bag of meat in here right now. Is that cooking right now? Is this okay?
Yep, so we had these beef short ribs. Cooked those for 72 hours, so they've been in the bath for about 3 days. Slow cooking, breaking down, getting real tender like
Sometimes I
pot
need a
roast.
3-day bath as well. I
Oof,
can't.
Tell me about
So you can be tender.
Yes, yes, tender-hearted.
it. Oh, so tender. And yeah, so we're gonna pair that with some little butter beans or lima beans.
Right.
My mom always called them butter beans growing up.
Yep, me too.
We pickled some banana peppers, which we also ate on our butter beans growing up. And I've got some fried garlic we're gonna put on there for some little crunchies.
Nice.
Yeah.
Little crunchies.
Little crunchies.
Yeah, that's what they call
So,
That's what they called me in junior high.
so what happens first? Are you going to take us through the process?
So this is already cooking, so it's pretty much ready to go. Let me crank up the heat on this guy. We're gonna throw our little lima beans. These are little baby lima beans in there.
Or butter beans, right?
Butter
Either
beans,
way.
whatever
yeah.
you want to do.
Yeah.
Get that going. There's some butter and some shallots in there. And we're gonna put a bunch of salt in there because we like salty, baby. So yeah, we're just gonna get these nice and soft. We blanched them before we started. Get them nice and soft.
When I hear that you blanched them, I think of that lady from the Golden Girls. What does blanched mean?
blanched Devereaux.
Just say really
Yeah.
sarcastic things
It
to it
means
over and over.
we just cooked them real fast in some hot water just to
Right.
get them tender.
Okay,
we like
gotcha.
So many tender things.
Yes, there's
So
so many
many
tender
tender
things
things.
happening on this
Oh.
table right now.
Oh, tender hits. And yeah, so we're gonna get those soft. I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of chicken broth.
Yes.
And reduce that a little bit. And then we're gonna get the beef out of the bath, coat it with a bunch of beef juice.
Yes.
And sprinkle some crunchies on there, and we're ready to eat.
Awesome.
Straight out of the bath,
So
right into
before
the
we
juice.
leave, we're going to be able to taste this, I'm assuming?
Yep. 72 hours later, we're actually gonna get to eat the beef.
It only takes a few days,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, you just have to, be on top of it. You gotta get started early.
Right,
Yeah.
you gotta take a bath.
You gotta take a bath
You gotta
first.
bathe your beef.
Yes.
And then you're ready to eat
Bathe
3
your
days
beef,
later.
butter your beans,
Butter your
and put a bunch of salt in it, and that's really all we do.
Salt! Yes! All right, folks, stick around because you're gonna want to see this dish when we get it plated and we're ready to eat. Hey, thanks for being here, Chef
You got
John.
it.
Yeah,
my
man.
pleasure. Good
Awesome.
to see you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Chef John is just cooking sous vide, sauteing beans, cooking sous vide.
So I decided to open Free Ride in Bentonville after all of my travels, having a corporate job, going from coast to coast. Wanted to stay healthy on the road, so I sought out emerging, up-and-coming studios, new fitness concepts that I thought would challenge me and keep me active while I was traveling. And noticed that all these big box gyms kept going in and out of business, and there wasn't anything in our area like Free Ride that offered indoor cycling and bar. So spin is definitely a cardiovascular class. So it's all about getting your heart rate up. It's all about getting that burn, burning the most calories. Whereas bar is more of the strength class. So they complement each other because you need both. Your body needs to have both. It fuses Pilates, yoga stretches with it, and strength as well. So that's why they're great complements to each other. Our signature Free Ride class is like being in a nightclub. The lights are off, the black lights are lit, we have candles on the instructor podium, we have LED accent lights, and it's a place where you can go to and you can leave any sort of stress or worries or whatever happened in your day behind. And once that door closes and the lights go off, for the next 50 minutes, it's your time. Being physically fit is so healthy, not just for your body, but for your mind also. We have a slogan, free your mind, free your body, free your soul. And that is really the framework of who we are and what our classes are about, of just being able to let go of the outside world and not worry about whether you packed your kids' lunch that day, or not worry about the big presentation that you have the next morning or that afternoon, whatever, and just giving yourself that time, that 50 minutes of not having any other obligation, in the world, and just being able to focus on your own body, and it's amazing yourself at what you can accomplish. We provide a very personal level of service here. So yes, our front desk staff is trained to memorize your first name. For the most part, our instructors are going to know your first name. We develop relationships with our clients. We know what's going on in their lives. We know what hurdles they have to get over to come into class. We know if they've got any injuries. We can tailor our classes specifically with movements that will help rehabilitate injuries that they might have. And it's just a level of service that for us is so important to be able to establish those relationships with our clients, because we care about them, and it's more than just checking in at the gym. Here we're all rallying for you, whether it's to lose weight, whether it's to run in that half marathon, or whatever your goal is. Right. We're aware of it, and we're cheering you on with each class.
Hey everybody, thanks for hanging out later with Jason Suel. This beef ribs, they look amazing, and I can't wait to dig in just a second. But before we do that, we want to make sure we thank all of our guests who joined us on our show today, starting with my good friend, Mr. Jeremy Gothrop.
We got Brian Henry.
Yes. Chef John Lupton.
We got Rachel Lynette,
Instagram Paw.
Bayard Blaine,
And Betsy Seuss. Thanks for being here, everybody. See you later, alligator.
After a while, crocodile.
Yeah, let's eat.
This episode of Later with Jason Suel brought to you by the Walmart Museum,
Catch some history.
Cheerios,
Catch some breakfast.
Old Buildings LLC,
Catch an old building.
and Maxine's Tap Room.
Catch a drink.